aliens as being artificial. That's along those lines. But ML, that's not. That's something we create. So, good question, love. Good Georgia Tech guy. Good questions. Um, but okay, so data science. There's people have seen. I'm sure a lot of you have seen these Venn diagrams. The first one there that has in the middle unicorn. That's just the strong data scientist, and it's hard to find that. So, but it's a mixture. It's got computer science, which is the engineering part, the programming, sometimes hardware. Um, it's a mix between that, math and statistics, which is the development of these models, the development of the learning techniques, the ideas behind the machine learning, the learning algorithms, all that quote algorithms. But you have to program them. So that's where the computer science comes in. And then what do you do with all this, stuff? This is where probably is the weakest part of data science these days. The SME, the business side of it. How do you use this? How do you frame the questions that you are going to apply this to? And that's it's not easy. You really have to understand the business world. You have to, otherwise you're just programming in a vacuum, and it's not really that exciting, not that interesting. Definitely nobody's going to pay for it. Well, that's not true. There's pockets. A lot of this stuff would never have been developed if there wasn't a use for it. There are applications of neural networks, the original ones, and still now that didn't really have an application to start with. Not a strong one, I would say, like vision. Recognizing numbers, recognizing characters. It was just neat that they could do that. The applications were not that deep, were not that complicated. But now the business world has gotten an interest in all this, and a lot of people that know a lot about the business world, are jumping into it, and they may know some good math. They may not be programmers, but they're learning enough to get by. And as you can see, there's overlaps in all of these. So if you have a computer guy who's good with math, you got the development of the techniques, which is the machine learning. If you have math and you have the business world, then you have like analytics. Your traditional research, or applying these statistical models to business, which is very popular. Business intelligence, it's big. And then if you got your programmers and your SMEs, that's kind of more technical business intelligence. The programmers, the developers that are old style. That's not machine learning though. That's just knowing the process and mimicking it in code. So yeah, I just threw several of them there because a lot of people have different opinions and different wordings, but looking at these three, you'll get a good idea of what data science is like. This is a nice graphic of what today's data scientist looks like. I don't think exactly dressed like that out here in the Bay Area, but maybe in Boston, New York. Here it's jeans and t-shirt, sometimes flip-flops. But anyway, so here's this adds another piece on here. This is Kate's world. Kate Strachan is the visualization, and that's extremely important. If it's not grouped separately here, then that is, I would say, it's under your domain knowledge and soft skills. But it's becoming a world of its own. It's a way of getting more people involved, getting less technical people more excited about data science, and so important. I mean, that's where it's the only way money's going to be thrown at it. Uh, that's the way it's going to grow. People otherwise are just going to program in a vacuum, and nobody's ever really going to take a look at it. But your executives, people controlling the money, are looking at graphs. They're looking at nice visualizations, and you got to be able to communicate to them. So, extremely important. Okay, so yeah, a lot of this stuff is the same kind of thing we've talked about. Okay, so growth of machine learning and data science. If you notice here, recently, as of last year, machine learning engineers have taken over data science as the number one growth, and it's incredible to me. The people more applying these concepts. Data science is still growing like crazy, 6.5x from the beginning. That's how much it's growing. And there's big data developers, big here. What else? Just looking at, and this is overall all job markets. If you look here, there's stuff assurance or licensing realtor. This is the life. I mean, people aren't kidding when they say this is this is just going crazy right now. It's the sexy job to be in right now because it's just growing. Here's some, I would say, kind of low as far as the numbers go, at least especially out here in the Bay Area, and up to 3 years. I mean, it's really funny because you don't need 3 years. This hasn't been around for 3 years. Hasn't been this amount of excitement for 3 years. Definitely not. It's only been like 5 years. So if you're moving from analytics into data science, then you may have been in it longer. But I mean, these are some really good numbers, and the numbers go way up higher than this. So I don't think there's anybody with 9+ years. Well, I mean, very few. But